Good afternoon, and welcome to the Thursday, August 14th meeting of the Energy and Environmental Conservation Committee for the Town of Penfield. I'm Cynette Cavaliere, the chair, and I would like to start our meeting by going around and having everybody introduce themselves, starting with Kevin.
I'm Kevin Berry, Town Board Liaison.
I'm Sarah Waterman, the Engineering Department Liaison.
Matt Prinzing, Planning Department Liaison.
Steve Daly, EECC member.
Rygg, committee member.
Cheremeteff, committee member.
Pat Schichler, committee member.
John Bennett, committee member.
Thank you. Okay, our first order of business is to review and approve the minutes of the July 10th meeting. Has everybody had an opportunity to review them? If so, may I have a motion to have them approved?
So moved.
Oh, okay. Pat's moved. May I have a second? Okay, thank you.
For the vote, Daly,
Aye.
Green,
Aye.
Cavaliere,
Aye.
Cheremeteff,
Aye.
Schichler,
Aye.
Bennett.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and then the next item is the report from the Monroe County Environmental Management Council. And I believe, as you all know, we do not meet in the summer, but I have a couple business items that I did want to cover during this spot. The first one is that we will kick off our schedule for the fall on September 17th, and it is a Wednesday, and I have a conflict with that meeting, which is a shame to have a conflict because it's one of the best of the year. It is the member roundtable, where each member presents what's going on in their municipality, and we get to hear all the really shared stories from everybody. So if there's somebody that would be able to cover that, I would appreciate it. It is September 17th, beginning 4 p.m. to 5:30 over on Paul Road in Rochester. So let me know. I do believe the last time I had a conflict with this meeting, we ended up sending somebody from the Penfield town staff, which also worked out well. So we have a second backup plan.
So if anyone else can and wants to attend, please let Matt and I know as well. And if no one is available, then we'll send a staff member.
I have a conference. I would love to go.
I'll look.
Okay.
I will look as
Thank
well.
you. The second thing that I wanted to introduce is just that the Monroe County Environmental Management Council, last year we did a trial of a youth environmental management council, including some high schools, select high schools, sent some students and advisors. We are going ahead and making this an official entity this year, full entity, and each of the high schools in town have received a letter asking them to select students to potentially be appointed to this committee. So I wanted to kind of bring this up to this group as well as to make this something that the people in Penfield are aware is happening. So it's going to be a special issue committee of the Monroe County Environmental Management Council. As a group, they will have one vote on the adult council, which is kind of an interesting addition to it. So they'll be working from that future perspective for our organization.
Do they have any grade level requirement?
Ideally, they would like them to be in between 10th and 12th grade. And in the ideal situation, they'd like them to be able to participate for 2 years, which kind of makes it interesting for a senior. But seniors are not precluded from applying. They must be a resident of Monroe County. Is the only other caveat for that. And then the schools also need to designate a advisor to come with them to be part of the meetings as well.
So they'll have all the schools, one student from each school?
I think it will end up depending on what the amount of students that do apply to make sure that they have a full amount.
Okay, and one
So,
adult
yes.
advisor.
Yes.
One last question on if someone should take your spot. You said that they'd be sharing points of what we're doing. Would you help to provide talking points?
We
Yes.
can provide talking points.
Yes. Sarah has been doing that for a couple years as between the two of them coming up with making sure that we have a good list of not only the things that we're personally aware of, but other things from our town that we should be sharing. Okay. Okay. With no other questions on that, moving on with the review of required items.
For town development projects, there is an application that will be discussed at the September 11th Planning Board meeting. It's an application for the construction of a 8,000 square foot metal maintenance building at 1784 Jackson Road, which is Penfield Country Club. So this is Town Hall, so directly south of us. There is this maintenance area, and so they're proposing to demolish this maintenance building and put a larger maintenance building that will run parallel with this one and will impact the Woodland EPOD. Just to show our EPOD mapping, or yeah, Charlie, see. So this is the boundary, and so they're impacting 0.58 acres in the Woodland EPOD, which triggers the review by the EECC, considering that it's anything over that half-acre disturbance is considered a regulated activity. So effectively, yeah, we've assigned this to Stephen, Cynette, and John to go out, do a site visit, draft up the report, and then that report will be reviewed at EECC's September 11th meeting. And then depending on whether or not the committee approves the report, if it is approved, then it goes to the applicant and the planning board.
Matt, could you sort of outline, you said it's going to be demolished and it's going to run parallel to the other, kind of
Yes.
outline exactly?
So this,
Because right now it looks
this is
perpendicular.
being removed completely, and then the new building is going to run basically here.
It'll connect to that
Oh, I was
existing
going to
building.
ask if it
Yeah,
was
I mean,
connecting as
there's
well.
like a
Okay.
small little walkway that'll connect the two buildings. I believe it's like 8 feet, maybe 6 feet between separating the two buildings, but there'll be an interior connection between the two. And then, let me just pull up the plan really quick, just to visualize it better.
I imagine it'll have exterior bays for bringing in equipment if it's storage and such. I guess they'll find out.
I think it's minimal on the bays, but yes, it will have access.
So yeah, 8 feet between the two buildings. You have gravel that'll be surrounding. These are the bays. You have bays on either side. There's, facilities or, meeting area, bathrooms. Yeah, so that's the layout of it, but all to me, so this line is the clearing limit, which is what we use to determine the amount of disturbance to the Woodland EPOD.
Okay. So John, Steve, and I have had some discussions, and we're planning on going on August 20th to do the site review.
Now, it is my first one. Is there anything specific in the report that we need to bring back to the town board? I read through some of the documentation. Maybe I missed it or skimmed over it. Are we going to be counting the amount of foliage that's in the area, or just what exceeds the?
Yeah, I think we just get to, Steve will be leading us because
Yes.
he has done that, so he'll kind of walk us through that process when we get there. And then there's a report with a generalized format that has been used, and that's what we'll model
Yeah.
our report off of.
Wonderful. Thank you.
One question about that is, I think since the last time we did this, the EPOD code has actually been updated. And so do we need to, should I or someone else on the committee or staff look at that form to make sure it's consistent with the updates to the EPOD code?
The format that we previously used still is relevant. Realistically, it's more so the titles that stay, or the sections, and you fill in everything else. So you'll be populating that with like what documentation you have, you'll be doing your observations while you're on site. You'll be doing the same conclusions. You'll likely reference the tree replacement policy, which is new, and was not previously part of the code, referred to in the code. You'll refer to the code, but it's still it's the new code, but it's still the same code reference, if that makes sense.
There wasn't really anything
Yeah.
standardized in the code or there wasn't, no part of the report was standardized within the code.
Yep.
So
Right, it's pretty,
very
just,
much,
as they said, just general headings and,
Yeah.
like observations, recommendations, sort of listing of all the documents. If you have,
yeah.
as Cynette said, one of the previous, you worked on.
Yeah.
I trained you well, you should be fine.
Well, I guess,
I know.
Yeah.
My only comment was related to the changes to the code, but
Well, and it actually makes it easier for us because we don't have to qualitatively or quantitatively worry about how many trees are there because it's based on the acreage.
Well,
And
yes,
that
I guess-
calculation has been done for us.
right, yeah, the only calculation is the factor of how many trees need to be replaced,
Right.
which.
It's a
we-
calculation.
Right, and we provided that. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a relevant question, though.
Oh, yeah,
To be
absolutely.
clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's good to know. Yes, I
And
agree.
through that process, if you have any questions, reach out to Matt and I. We're happy to answer them and do any coordination.
And should we, meaning anyone who's from EEC, notify the facility that we're visiting, or does town
We
staff
will
want to
notify
facilitate
them.
that? Okay.
Yeah, we'll coordinate that.
Do you know what time you're going out on the 20th?
You're
11. I
right,
missed that.
approximately 11 to noonish.
Yes, so we were saying we'd meet at Steve's at 11, which we'll probably take that almost full half hour to be at the site at 11:30, which is when they open.
Okay.
Bring your Penfield ID.
Yeah, I was going to, IDs, the.
So we don't, yes, we have
Yeah.
to resolve that.
We will acknowledge who they are, but they do not yet have IDs.
Yeah, I would bring mine if I had
You
one.
probably don't have one yet.
You should really just get one.
You don't have one either?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I started at the same time as Steve.
Yes.
We don't rate.
We'll try to look official.
Yeah.
I do have the one copy, hard copy of the packet. I was going to give it to you to take because then we'll just come to you with it. Are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Since you,
And then as far as the timeline goes, so we're visiting on the 20th, we'll have a report. How far in advance of the September 11th meeting should we have that report? Well, I guess staff will look at it first, and then we'll circulate it at large.
So if you can get it to us, ideally the Friday before the meeting, but if not that, because it's a holiday weekend, if you can get it to us that Tuesday before the meeting, right? Then we'll send it out that week. Sorry, I was looking for the days.
Yeah, so, yeah, if it gets to town staff by September 2nd, which would be the Tuesday after Labor Day,
Yep.
then we have a few days before the September 5th meeting materials drop for the September 11th meeting to provide any feedback or formatting changes. And then it goes to the rest of the committee on the 5th.
okay,
that
so,
everyone
and
can
that
review.
timeline is in the letter that they
Yeah.
did send to us about the application.
So, yeah, I would say that first week of September, the 2nd through the 5th, is where the three of you are working with staff to make any minor changes to it. And then the 5th, it goes out to everybody.
And I would say just make sure that you send it to both of us, just because of possible vacation days.
Yeah.
And just to attest, Matt will attest it to this as well, that I'm, always on the phone to him on, any
Yeah.
reports with
Yeah.
questions, so,
Absolutely.
as we were to your predecessor, so.
Right.
And will the draft report go to the planning board that week?
Yeah. So previously, we've provided a draft to
Yeah.
them the Friday before their meeting, which is the same day as ours. But we've acknowledged that that is a draft report. And then if it's approved that night, the final report without the draft label on it will be provided to them. And that's just so that they can have that information for consideration. Yeah.
So we actually have, because we're getting to go review the site so early, we shouldn't have any issues getting everything done ahead of time.
So actually, after you all submit it, you make your comments as if you think something should be changed before it even goes to our meeting here.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically, those comments are on formatting, if there's any surprising information that we should be checking in with you on, that kind of thing.
Right. Right.
Okay.
All right, so that,
Yep.
John?
any other questions
Yeah,
on?
you think you're good?
Yes, absolutely.
You and I are the green ones, so
Yes.
I think we'll get through it.
Learning on the fly.
Yep. Not on the fly, carefully planned.
Great.
Okay. Are there any other requests from the town board?
So that
Oh,
was a
actually-
request from, that's a town
Town
development
development
project. For a request for town board, there are none at this
Well,
time.
actually, I should have asked, are there any other town development projects? That
No.
Okay. Request from the town board, and you said no. Okay. Any clean energy community actions?
We're just letting you know that we're still accepting the Clean Energy Campaign submission forms. At this time, Clean Energy Communities is still not accepting submissions for completed high-impact action items, but we're still being encouraged to accept those forms so that if and when they are ready to move forward, we can.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move into old business, and our first item is a CCA update.
So previously, the town board approved a resolution for the town supervisor to sign a renewal contract for the CCA program. That was signed, and pricing was locked in. It's not reflected on the web. Oh, it is. They just did that today. I forgot. Pricing is now reflected on the PenfieldCCA.com website for the Penfield Green, which is a 50% renewable program. It's 9.82 cents per kilowatt hour. And for the Penfield 100 option, it's 100% renewable electricity, and that's 10.293 cents per kilowatt hour. And I'll acknowledge, right now it says renewable electricity for the 50%, local renewable electricity for 100%. They are both in-state renewable electricity. Those are the renewable energy credits that are required for the program. So they both are local to New York State energy.
Do we know if it's wind, solar, hydro?
We definitively know the June after that year. So previously, it has been solar and hydro. Sorry, I take that back. Previously, it's been wind and hydro for the last 18 months or so. That's what they've been using. The first 2 years of the program were primarily solar and hydro.
And are they certified credits, renewable?
Yep, they're certified RECs.
Yeah.
So we wanted to give you that update. We are working on scheduling the public information sessions. There will be 3 in-person public information sessions in this room. There will be at least 3 webinars as well, separate from those in-person meetings. And we are scheduling those at different times so that they're as accessible to the community as possible. My current understanding is that the in-person ones will be 5 p.m., and then the webinars will be either 12 p.m. or 6 p.m. And those should be reflected on our website early next week.
Will they be starting in the end of August, or will they not start till September?
The first one is scheduled for August 26th, in person at 5 p.m. And then the other ones, we just wanted to get their final schedule before we share that publicly, which is why they'll be posted next week.
Okay.
There will also be postcards going out to residents that are currently enrolled in the program, because those are the only residents that would be automatically enrolled in the renewal. And those generally go out 10, 11 days before the public information session, and that's only for the in-person ones that those postcards will be mailed. Separate from that, we'll be having posts on our Facebook page. There, I think actually it's already started. There's a radio spot so that residents know for that first meeting, and that the town is renewing this program. So we're trying to make sure that residents that are in the program know what's going on. Do you have any questions?
Anything else? That's good. Okay. Our next item is talking about the CFA Grant Application. That's consolidated funding. Is that correct? What
Yes,
CF
the
is?
CFA is the Consolidated Funding Application. Last meeting, EECC discussed the MS4 mapping application that the town was putting together, and EECC submitted a letter of support for that. Just wanted to speak about we also brought forward to EECC members that we wanted to submit another CFA application for the local waterfront revitalization program. And so EECC cited their support for that, and we sent that along. The due date was July 31st, so we did that in between last meeting and now. And just a brief explanation of what that is. The town's current local waterfront revitalization program was developed and adopted at a time when the 15 policy framework was being utilized by communities across the state, and was approved by New York State the Department of State. But the standard is returned to the 44 policy framework. And so the town is requesting funding to rework their program to go back to that 44 policy framework. Yeah, so at this time, we haven't identified any significant policy changes within our LWRP, but the grant funds for this update would allow the town to explore policy and process updates, such as resiliency planning and coastal consistency review.
Can you pull up the final letter?
Yeah.
I believe I made comments on that one.
Are you looking for letters?
Yeah. I don't think it's in here. I think it is.
I thought it was in the developmental.
Yeah, it's going to be with, oh no, it's on the G drive with.
Sorry, Matt is going into our file system to pull up the letter, so it just takes a second since that one's a little deeper in the system.
No worries.
Incorporated before it was sent out.
Sorry?
Get all of the comments before it was sent out.
I believe so. Let me pull up Roy's comments here.
Those are different documents.
No, this is the same. Isn't this the one that?
No, those comments are not reflected on the one that you're
Oh.
showing.
Do you remember? Is that,
Matt's pulling up the one with comments.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay.
It's been 3 weeks.
I'm sorry, Sarah, what did you say?
Matt is pulling up the letter with comments.
Okay.
Yeah, so
so that you
these
can
are
see the reflected
Roy's
comments.
Yeah.
Do you recall which one was in?
Yeah, I just, yeah.
So the previous one that Matt pulled up, I think, was actually the one from last year, right? Because it said the 13. Sorry to flip back and forth.
No, this,
Because that says the 13 policy framework.
no, that's what we're applying for.
Oh, okay.
Or-
It's all right, it's sent now anyway.
Yeah, it is weird. That's, yeah.
I think it'd be
This says-
reasonable that that's something we check into after.
Yeah. Either way, the letter was sent, but I'm fairly certain that I made those changes. Maybe I just need to dig through. I may have put it in the EECC's folder, but.
Yeah, I was thinking it could be in a
um,
different folder.
Yeah, I'll follow up after the meeting, just, because I'm pretty sure that these changes were added, I just need to find, but, yeah, so these were the changes that Roy had changed, mostly just language, just changing,
Clarifying it,
applying for
yeah.
a grant, and,
But the one difference is the one you pulled up said 13 policy, this one says 15 policy.
Right.
So I don't know what the difference would be.
right. Yeah. Yeah, again, I'll follow up after the meeting and dig up the actual letter, because, yeah, there should be a scanned copy with my signature, so that would be the one that actually got sent. So once I track that down, I'll follow up with everyone.
Okay.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Is there anything else on the grant application you wanted to mention?
Not at this time, no,
Okay.
just that they were, both the MS4 mapping and the LWRP ones were submitted at the end of July.
And for reference, generally, we find out about those grant applications in December of that year. So we would expect to find out close to the end of this year.
Okay. And as always, thank you for your diligence in looking for grant potential applicant, so that you can apply for them.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is the Energy Efficiency Conservation Block Grant.
So we talked about this quite some time ago. The town had, it's federal money that was set aside for municipalities across New York State. And the town applied to get the grant for that money. We were approved for a purchase of an EV, or an electric vehicle. And now we're going through the process of doing that purchase, and then we'll submit for reimbursement after. So we're purchasing a vehicle for the building department.
Is that funding still available? I know there's been a lot of clawbacks and pullbacks from the federal government.
Our current understanding is that it's still available.
Okay.
And based on the conversations we had, we should be updated if something changes in the meanwhile. It's part of why we wanted to get it done sooner than later.
When you purchase the vehicle, do you have to make a deposit for ordering it?
We have to purchase the vehicle and then get reimbursed for the
Right.
grant. So we have to spend the money before we can get reimbursed.
All of the money? Okay.
Yep.
I was just thinking if you had to order it in the sense that it wasn't available, that maybe they would take a partial deposit or something, or,
That would be nice.
oh, okay.
What sort of vehicle is anticipated?
An F-150 Lightning. Are there any other questions?
That's exciting.
That's a good choice.
Great. Then we'll move on to pollinator pathways.
Yeah, so previously we had discussed pollinator pathway. So the pollinator pathway program is a program that will promote the planting of native plants and the creation of pollinator habitat on private properties. Essentially, the rec department has agreed to be the point of contact for it. Essentially, residents will go to the rec department office and fill out an application, which they would cite what native plants they have in their yard, what sort of pollinator habitat they have. So do they have like beds of rock or leaves that are, different habitat items that are attractive to pollinators. And so if they check all those boxes, also if they refrain from the use of pesticides, that's also a requirement of it. So if they meet all those qualifications, they get a little yard sign that says Penfield Pollinator Pathway. There's a little QR code that brings you to the website for the pollinator pathway, and all of that. And it ties into the other pollinator pathways in our area. So Brighton and Pittsford, right? So they have very similar signs. Ours, at the center of it, has red maple, and then those other municipalities have their town tree in the center of it. And then, they have Brighton Pollinator Pathway, ours is Penfield. But yeah, the idea is, or the hope is that other, towns and municipalities in the area continue to spread and start their own. But to support the program, I guess I should preface this, is that the program, we hope to officially launch it, have the website public, and have the signs. The signs are been ordered and are at the rec office, but we also are going to provide a sign post and nails so that it can just be taken and put right in the resident's yard. And then, the first week of September, we're hoping for everything to be ready to go, and the rec department open for applicants to come in. But we also have, to support the program, we wanted to have a resource for residents to learn about native plants to our area. So we developed the town's native plant list. So if you go to documents on the town's website, and then plans, studies, reports, policies, and then under environment, native plants, there's this plants within our community document, and it has just an explanation of why you should plant native plants, a summary of what the plant list is, resources for you to learn more about native plants in our area or identify them, or resources for identifying pollinators in your area. And then there's the actual list of species, and then if you click on any one of the links, it brings you to a page, a little slowly here, but and it brings you to a page with information about that species, and you can identify it there. But so you kind of use this resource for helping you choose or identify what plants are in your yard. And you can use that for the pollinator pathway program, but really we felt that it was applicable to much more than just the pollinator program. If we have a developer that, wants to know what species would qualify as natives to our area, they could refer to this list. So rather than just tying it to the pollinator program website or anything like that, we felt that it made more sense to be just a policy or form on the town's website.
So is there an option to link it from other pages? Because I'm not sure that my first place to look would be under plans and documents.
If the easiest way to get to it without having to kind of track through is you can just search our page for a native plant list or native plants.
Okay.
And
will there
that should bring you to.
Will there be information on the pollinator pathway on the website, and that link will also be there?
Yeah, the application will have a link, and the page will have a link.
Okay.
It's just that's not already on the website since we
Okay.
haven't launched it yet.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's better. Yes.
Great resource.
Is there ever something that, when there's a change, adding that sort of material, is there something, what's new on the website this month, or?
If we did that, you'd probably,
It would
there's a
be a
lot
lot.
of changes. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that would be the most productive way of getting that.
You could put it in the newsletter that goes out.
I can make that recommendation.
Yes. And I would imagine that the town supervisor, if he was to run out of
things to talk about.
things that to talk about, that would be one of the ones that would potentially go on his list, or I shouldn't have said it that way. That could potentially go on his list of things to talk about in his
Make sure you flag that for them.
periodic updates.
I'll mention that with the.
So are private businesses and churches and such, are they able to apply for being designated as a pollinator pathway?
I don't see why not.
Yeah. no,
Okay.
yeah.
I was going to say, I'll bring that back. Our church has 2 pollinator gardens going, so
That'd be great.
we'd love to add a sign, another sign.
I just need an excuse to make my weeds acceptable. And that sounds like a great idea.
As long as they're the good weeds.
They are. I have a lot of pollinators in my yard. It's great.
So if you put the sign up, does that mean you don't have to mow your lawn then?
No.
Okay, I think that is all for pollinator pathway. I do know that there'll be some community education components in various places around, so you should be seeing more happening on this.
Yeah.
The next item is the Climate Action Plan, RFP.
So previously, we discussed that town staff would draft a climate action plan RFP based on the comments by EECC, and with reference to the county CAP RFP, and using other RFPs that we've recently put out. So we put that together, and the next step is for the town attorney to review it and for it to go to the town board for their approval. And then our anticipated RFP release date currently is August 22nd. And
Oh, we're moving right along.
Is that
then.
in alignment with your goals?
it is.
Okay.
And for reference, that will be in the town board drop this week. Yes, that does currently work with our goals. Currently, our submission deadline would be October 3rd, and the potential contract award date, the soonest date would be November 5th. That does also leave room for, if it's not approved at November 5th, it could still potentially be approved before the end of the year. And that, to be clear, the contract could be formalized.
And that's
That's our
critical for some of the
goal.
funding, is that correct? Is it, or we recall?
So the goal is to have an award before the end of the year so that we can encumber the funds that is in our budget for this year into next year for that project. And for reference, there's also still grant money that we have for that project as well.
Okay.
And that was.
Is there anything that you need our assistance or input on at this time?
I don't think so at this time. It's really just an update.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that leads us into new business. We have some upcoming events. I feel like we're going really fast for some reason tonight. So, did we lose something that was going to take
We're
our time?
doing a major RFP or EPAD or anything
know.
like that.
There's a little more within the upcoming events that we
Okay.
wanted to share.
Okay.
But we do have a slightly smaller agenda this week, I would say. So the first upcoming event on the agenda is the Active Transportation Plan Community Survey. That is currently open, and it will be open until September 19th. The town is currently working on an active transportation plan and looking for community input. So this survey can be completed by residents and non-residents alike, because transportation affects all of us. So we are hoping that you, as committee members, and as residents, and as people that use our roadways, will fill out the plan and share it with your friends, family, coworkers, and encourage them to share the survey or complete the survey, so that the plan can be as complete as possible. With that, I believe there will also be tabling for this at the Wellness Fair, which is
September 12th.
Thank you.
So, yeah, there's going to be a table for the Penfield Active Transportation Plan at the Community Wellness Fair at the town's community center. Yeah, so active transportation will be there, and also the Penfield Rec Department will also have a table that will feature the pollinator pathway. So both of those programs will be promoted there.
So that's the active transportation plan community survey. That's the first item on upcoming events. The next item is the pharmaceutical waste collection. That is September 13th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Eastway Wegmans. That's the Wegmans on Empire Boulevard. And on our website, if you go to the calendar, it gives details of what can be brought in. So if you have pharmaceutical waste, please bring it in.
Can I actually return to the active transportation plan survey?
Yeah.
So I saw there was some kind of a public meeting, I think it was in July, and I wasn't able to attend that. What was the nature of that meeting about the active transportation plan, and was it recorded?
I believe it was recorded. Matt's checking on that right now. It was basically to just start getting public input. So let the public know what the plan will hopefully encompass, and get any input from the public that we can. So it was less of a big presentation and more of starting the process of getting community input.
Great.
Yeah. I thought it was recorded. So, it wouldn't be under transportation. It'd be its own public information session.
Yeah.
Separate from that, while Matt looks that up, I can share that the resident committee that is included in the plan creation process is the transportation committee. So that also has residents that will be giving input, but we still want the full community's input. And Matt has found it. Yes, it was recorded on Wednesday, July 23rd. So you can find that on YouTube. You can also find the link to it on our website.
Thank you.
Anything else on the active transportation plan information? Okay, good. Okay, so now pharmaceutical waste collection.
Do you mind pulling that back
well-
up? Sorry. As I said, if you want more details on what you can bring in, you can go to the town's calendar, and that is, again, on September 13th.
Okay.
Do you have anything else on that?
Nothing on that. And then on the 20th, the following Saturday, there's the household hazardous waste collection. This is an event that trades off between Penfield and Webster each year. This year it's in Penfield.
No.
Or sorry,
Webster.
it's in Webster, wow.
Yeah.
Last year it was Penfield, this year it's in Webster. And it's at the Town of Webster Department of Public Works from 7:45 a.m. to 12 p.m. And
It is appointment only, so
yes.
you can start scheduling those right now if you want. And then please refer to what can be brought in. And scheduling that is on the Monroe County website, but if you go to that calendar event on the town webpage, you can get a link to those appointments.
yes.
And if you're interested, do it early because they fill up.
They sure do. And it's better than waiting in line at Eco
Yes.
Park.
And it is already active, so.
Yes.
We'll go ahead and, yes.
Oh, I gotta schedule it.
Yes, already active. Okay. Is there any other collections happening at that same event, or is it only hazardous waste?
Household hazardous waste collection only.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know when we do it in Penfield, we generally have some other collections at the same time. Webster isn't doing that this year.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to do the other events from Katie?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So we do have,
Do you want to do that, or do you
I
want
can
Matt?
do that,
Okay.
too. So Katie, who is not with us today, not feeling well, has also sent in a couple events that Color Penfield Green is sponsoring, and some of them are indeed in conjunction with Penfield Rec. The first one is an event called The Week, which is actually, they're compressing the week into 3 days. I'm pretty impressed with this, but it's a 3-day program of environmental activities and to dive deep into the climate crisis and what we all can do about it. So there's 3 sessions, Tuesday, August 19th, Wednesday, August 20th, and Thursday, the 21st, from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Dolomite Lodge, and those are all free. So it's discussion, small group. It should be fairly interesting. They're going to connect between the different ones. Will be a documentary involved, and if you are interested in some of the sustainability issues happening in and around our area, this would be a good thing to be part of. They are continuing the education on the pollinator pathway on Monday, September 22nd at the community center. That's a program that's going to go from 6 to 7:30. And it's going to be part of their Designing Our Future Sustainable Landscapes. So a chance to have some of this information. And then she also wanted us to mention that there will be the National Drive Electric Month EV Car Show in September 13th, and that will be at Henrietta Town Hall.
And for reference, this is the EV show that is normally at RET. They're changing locations this year. So it's important it's at Henrietta Town Hall this year instead of RET.
Okay.
But it's a great show to go to.
So lots of activities. Does anybody else have other environmental activities that they would like to bring up that?
Well, before that, I do want to make a reminder, if you would like to attend the week or the pollinator pathway programs, please register for those through REC. They're in the REC brochure. You can go to the REC website and sign up for them just so that they know how many to expect and they're not over capacity. But I would love if anybody has anything else to share, please let us know.
Do you know if the week that is over 3 days, and I know there was a different section of the topics each day, and that if you can't make it to the third one, is it best not to go, or?
I believe they're independent and that you would get some information out
Okay.
of
Yeah,
the first
I think
ones to.
it's worthwhile, even if you can only attend part of
Yes.
it.
I know the third one, which I can't go to, was the one on hope. It's like, no, that's the one I
And-
want to go to.
And if you are able to go to a couple of them and not all of them, I'm sure if you let the organizers know, they'd be happy to share any information with you.
Yeah, there's actually a gentleman, it was whole half page on our bulletin at our church that a fellow, Tim, who's on our facilities and other committees, his name was listed with Katie, so
Yep.
it's kind of cool.
Yep. Okay. So that's all I have for new business. Is there any other new business? Wow.
It looks like not at this time.
Not at this time. This is like a world record. I don't know what to do about this here. Okay, so if there's no other new business, then I get to let you know that our next meeting is September 11th, where we will be presenting our report from the Town Development Project, along with a lot of other fun things. And so at this time, I will call this meeting, the August 14th meeting of the Energy and Environmental Conservation Committee, adjourned.